Hello, and welcome to this conference hosted by MS Focus, the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. I'm Sherry Binns, a certified MS nurse and also the patient healthcare liaison for the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. And I have the honor today of being joined by Natalie Blake, who is one of our new executive directors. I'm going to let her welcome you in just a moment. Also, we have Kashana Allen, our support services coordinator, and Monique Frazier, who is supervisor of our home care and emergency services programs. We're here today to tell you about what we can do for you as far as the programs and services that we have here at MS Focus. So I'm going to turn this over to Natalie for a little introduction, and then we'll start explaining what we have in store for you.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to be here, and we always love taking the opportunity to let you know the programs and services that we have to help you improve your quality of life. All of our programs and services are free of charge. There is no membership fee or any cost involved for us to provide service to you. We have about 18 ongoing programs and services, and Monique and Kashana are going to go ahead and give you more information on all of those programs. So I just want to say welcome. We're happy to be here. We're always available to you. If you have any questions after this meeting that you may think about that you didn't ask, you can always email support@MS Focus, and someone will get back to you with an answer.
Thank you, Natalie. I think my first exposure to some of our programs was way back in 2003 when I first found out about the cooling program and got my first cooling vest. For those of you who are ever in need of cooling products, we do offer a cooling program every year from February 1st to June 1st. Kashana is kind of overviewing that, reviewing applications. And we can replace your cooling products as often as every 5 years if needed. So let Kashana know what you need. And also, Kashana, I'd like you to just talk a little bit about the Brighter Tomorrow grant, which is currently running.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Kashana. I am one of our support services coordinators. I am going to speak a little bit about the Brighter Tomorrow grant, which is one of our cyclical programs. The program runs from June 1st to September 1st. We have a lot of things that we can get you in that program. Once in the past, I purchased a goat milking machine for someone. It was really cool. I had someone ask about new shoes. You know, sometimes when you look better, you feel better, and anything that you can think of that does not fall under our other programs, we can purchase for you under the Brighter Tomorrow grant. There is a $1,000 max. It's up to $1,000 for that program. And we usually reward the items in December. So around December, we start calling our clients to let them know, look out for this in the mail. You have been awarded the Brighter Tomorrow grant. If you have been a recipient in the past, often we ask to send in letters, let us know about your item, and we will feature you in our magazine.
I've seen those in the magazine pretty regularly, and sometimes those gifts can make a really important impact on our lives. The new shoes, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Back when I was wearing an AFO on a regular basis, I couldn't find a shoe to fit me that I could afford. We finally found some local resources to help with that, but that's a really important thing. It's not just necessarily even shoes that look great, but shoes that accommodate something like an AFO or ankle foot orthotic.
Yes.
So, you know, I encourage you, if there's something that you need. Again, Kashana mentioned that kicks in as soon as our cooling program finishes. So February to June, we have the cooling program. June to September, we have the Brighter Tomorrow grant. Those applications will be in your MS Focus magazine, or they'll be online at msfocus.org. You just go into programs and grants, and the applications will be there. Kashana, are there any cyclical programs that are running right now that you want to tell people about?
We also have the computer program. I'll speak about that. We have the computer program. So that is a year-round program. That's not one of our cyclical. The two cyclicals that we have is the Brighter Tomorrow grant and the cooling program. And I believe that's it for cyclical. The rest of our programs are year-round. And I'll speak about, if you want me to, Sherry, the computer first.
Sure.
So our computer program is a year-round program. And for our clients, we can reward you with a laptop or a desktop, depending on your need. They are brand new PCs, and the responsibility of internet tech support would fall on the client, but we will provide you with a laptop or desktop free of charge. It is an application process. Once again, it is available. The application is available online at msfocus.org. And you can call us and we can send you one in the mail if you do not have internet access to get to that application.
Thank you. One other question along with that. I know some people need some assistive technology with their computer. They may need special software for audio or for typing or something of that nature. Is that something that you can help people with as well?
So I'll switch over and go to our assistive technology program. I love your segue, Sherry. Thank you. So that falls under our assistive technology program. We will help with different communication devices and different computer aids like Dragon Tech, different things like that for the computer. So it won't fall under the computer program. It will fall under AT or assistive technology. So while I'm speaking about assistive technology, that is one of our other year-round programs that you can call us and get an application, or you can go online at msfocus.org. It helps with aids for daily living, communication devices, computer aids, environmental control systems, home and vehicle modifications, orthotics, seating, positioning, and mobility devices, and aids for vision and hearing. That falls under our assistive technology program.
Okay. Now I know a couple of people recently have asked us on our Facebook page for help getting like air conditioners in their house. One woman had gotten a quote for putting splits throughout her house, and it was a pretty costly quote. But do we ever help with things like window air conditioning units?
We help with window air conditioning units and also portable AC units. So within the last 2 to 3 months during summertime, I will say, with MS, the heat exacerbates, the symptoms. So we definitely will accept an application for a portable air conditioning unit or a wall unit. Oftentimes I've had clients call about, I want to believe the proper word is the home unit, help me Sherry, but we will help with like the cleaning of the coils or something like that. We can't replace the entire unit, at the house, but we can do portable or a wall unit.
And if they don't have a service contract, it sounds like you might help with cleaning of the system.
Yes, I've had a client reach out to me. She needed some cleaning of her unit and we were able to do that for her. So it's a case-to-case basis. It just depends on the need.
Yeah, we do pay for, repairs. Obviously, it's a lot more reasonable to repair an air conditioner than replace an entire unit. So we will help individuals with the payment for repairs.
Okay, and is there a cost or an income guideline on that, or can anybody apply?
Well, anyone with multiple sclerosis can apply to our program. It is a case by case. However, we do try and put a max of up to $500. But once again, it's a case by case. If I plead a really good case, I might get a little bit more money from my associate director of program services. But it is a max of 500, but case by case.
Well, thank you. Monique, you work with the home care assistance and emergency assistance programs.
Yes.
I'm wondering, a lot of people have sort of expressed disbelief that we would help them with a home care or a home health aide or something of that nature. So if you could just explain a little bit about what that program entails and how we might be able to help an individual or a household through that home care assistance.
Sure. Thank you, Sherry. Again, my name is Monique, and I'm the supervisor of the Home Care and Emergency Assistance Grant Programs. And yes, our home care program is amazing because there's so much that we can do. So basically, the way how the grant works is that we can help to provide a caregiver to actually come into the home and help with personal care or meal preparation, light housekeeping, help getting dressed, maybe some help organizing in the home. And we use like an actual home care agency with a trained caregiver that can actually come in and help. We'll assign a certain amount of visits where they can, again, like I said, help maybe anywhere from like 8 visits to 10 visits. It is temporary, but sometimes we can help more than once, just kind of based on our funding at the time. But it's very helpful. I've had a lot of clients that, just need someone to help them get in and out of the shower or just, help making a meal. Sometimes they live alone or they have a caregiver, but the caregiver is not available. Maybe it's their husband and they have to work. So it's an amazing program where we can definitely help to get a caregiver in the home, at least on a temporary basis until maybe they could find something more permanent. And we do have resources as well. So once our visits finish, we can actually refer them to other places that might be able to help them more long-term.
And a unique thing that we offer through the home care program is respite care for care partners. So if a care partner has something they have to take care of, could be a business trip if it was somebody's husband. It could be medical needs that they have to take care of. We've had care partners that have had to have their own surgery, for example. We do provide respite care, so care partners can request that somebody come to the home to take care of their loved one.
And I actually had a case like that not too long ago. I had a client that her mother is her caregiver and she actually had to have a surgery and she needed someone to help her daughter while she had the surgery. So I actually do get a lot of respite cases as well, and we can definitely help with that.
Wonderful. Do you have any case management services within the organization, or do you generally refer them to someplace like the MS Society's Navigator program?
So we can refer, especially once we will assign a certain amount of visits and then the visits will end, we can definitely refer out to the MS Society is one of them. Also 211, findhelp.org, also the Area Agency on Aging. So we'll refer out to those to kind of help look for more long-term assistance.
Sherry, I'm so sorry, Monique. I just wanted to add that in addition to providing the home visits, Monique's team acts as coordinators for the care. So they are more or less social workers. Monique has a master's degree in social work. So they are caseworkers.
So we'll actually, just like Natalie's saying, we'll actually, once we get the application, so I'll just kind of explain a little bit about the process. you can actually go online and apply on our website, msfocus.org, and actually apply to the home care assistance grant. Once we get the application, we'll actually call the client and say, find out what type of services they need help with. And then once we find that out, we'll actually look for an agency in their area. And then we'll kind of find out what their rates are and everything like that. And then we'll go from there, and we'll be able to assign a certain amount of visits based on the rates. And the agency will reach out to the client, and then they'll kind of get things going from there. Again, once the visits are finished, we can always apply again, but it kind of just depends on our funding at the time. And then if we don't have the funding, then that's when we'll kind of refer out to other organizations to assist moving forward.
And you don't have to use the visits all at one time.
Right.
So for example, if somebody was granted 8 visits, and they're usually 4-hour visits, because most agencies charge a minimum number
It can
of
be less
hours.
sometimes, but usually it's 4.
Yeah. So you have up to a year to use those visits, because you know when you're going to need the help. So it's not something that we say you have to use in the next month. You communicate with the agency that we contracted out with, and you let them know, and they'll schedule somebody to come and do what you need them to do at your house.
Perfect. One other thing that I think people may not be aware of is that for those of you who are uninsured or underinsured and really have trouble getting in to see an MS specialist instead of maybe a general neurologist, they may not take your insurance. We do help with doctor's visits. So we'll pay for 2 neurology visits for you. We sometimes will also work with the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. They've got an MRI program so that they have over 700 MRI facilities around the United States that they use. And so you can have your primary care doctor order the MRI by the standards that are necessary to diagnose MS, and have that MRI in hand, and then go to an MS neurologist with that grant for the doctor's visits for diagnostic purposes or for follow-up purposes. And then there's another visit that you can use later on for a follow-up if need be. So just to kind of put that on your radar as well. Let's see, the home care assistance grant you've got, but I've got both of you on home care assistance grant, both Kashana and Monique.
Well, actually, healthcare assistance grant was what you were just speaking of. So, so not home care, but healthcare for me. So if the client is looking for the 2 appointments or 2 visits to the neurologist, that would fall under the healthcare assistance grant. And we also cover dental under the healthcare assistance grant up to $500. So you would just log on to msfocus.org. Vicki is the coordinator of that program. She would be your contact, and you would move forward through Vicki.
Thank you. Diana from Facebook is asking if we could provide a list of 8 of the programs for our agency. If you go to msfocus.org and just click on to programs or grants, it's all right there in
All
one
of the ones
place.
that we offer. And also, in order to qualify for the healthcare assistance, you already have to have a diagnosis of MS. So originally, when we started the program, we found that people needed a refill on their prescription, for example, and they either lost their insurance or they're waiting to be approved for SSDI, and they can't get a refill unless they go see their neurologist. So that's where we come in and we'll pay for that initial visit so that you can get your prescription and then the follow-up visit. And through that program, we also pay for dental visits because a lot of the MS medications do have a negative effect on the teeth and gums.
I think it might be helpful to just let those that are tuning into this webinar know that we have only one office in the United States to serve the needs of the entire country. And so as you can see, all of these programs that we're offering, we have a large network of people that we work with throughout the country. We don't just, the office is in Florida. We don't just use Florida agencies to meet your needs. We have partners throughout the entire United States that help us provide these services for you. So another thing that Natalie, you sort of referred to with the medication refills, many people who are going on Medicare for their health insurance don't realize that the Medicare Part D programs cover just a fraction of our disease modifying therapies. It was a total shock to me. When I went on Medicare, I asked if the medicine that I was on at that time was covered. It was one of the injectable medications. I was getting it for free with my private insurance prior to going on Medicare. And the first month's copay when I was on Medicare was $2,250. That has since gone up for that medication to $3,700 a month. This is not something that we as a foundation actually help with at all, but the Patient Assistance Network is out there. Your doctor's offices have contacts with the Patient's Assistance Network. Your drug companies have contact with them. So both your doctor's office and your drug company, if you're having a difficult time paying for your disease modifying therapy, can help you work through that.
And there are a number of other ways that you can get funding in addition to those patient assistant networks and things like that. Believe it or not, GoodRx, and there's a new program, Mark Cuban, who's on Shark Tank, believe it or not, has an assistance program, and they cover generic drugs for Tecfidera and Ampera. So your copay, you wouldn't use your insurance if you had insurance because your copay would be so high. And if you don't have insurance, you still qualify. And the cost is, I want to say it was ridiculously low, like $24.
Yeah, I saw that segment on Shark Tank the other night, and the medication that he was talking about, one of the medications that he was talking about had a copay with private insurance, something like $450. And with his program, it was down in the vicinity of $54 a month. Yeah. So it's somewhere around the 10th of the cost. If you've got a question, I don't even know the name of the program for that, but your pharmacists are also good resources for that. They know where the coupons are. They know how to get you enrolled in GoodRx. So it's not just a function of what we do. We just try to be knowledgeable about all the things out there so we can guide you as you need them. Caregivers Night Out, tell us about that.
So basically our Caregivers Night Out, which actually just ended, by the way, it started at the end of August and it went until the September 30th. So basically that's a contest that's under our home care assistance program, where if you have a certain caregiver in your life, it could be your mother, brother, sister, even a caregiver through an agency that you really want to, just let people know how special they are. we were accepting essays that you could just really tell us exactly what they mean to you, like 100-word or less essay. And then there's a committee that looks over these essays and they choose the winner, and the winner would receive a dinner for two out with that caregiver, just to show that, give that caregiver some recognition, and just, for the client to let their caregiver know that they really appreciate them.
Caregivers are unsung heroes
Yes.
in the
and
MS world, and really every world of any, disease or medical condition. And they're so important to us. So National Family Caregivers Month is November, and we will have some webinars on caregiving and partnering with your care partner. But we'd like to do this contest and have all of the winners chosen so that the magazine that will probably appear in your home sometime in November will have their stories in there, and you'll be able to read them.
I just got
next year-
ticked into
Sorry,
the
Sherry.
chat. Sorry. It's Mark Cuban's program is called the Cost Plus program. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Monique. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I was just gonna say, so next year, if anyone is interested in submitting an essay, it'll be in the summer edition of the MS Focus. So that's where you can actually fill out the application and write your essay.
Perfect. Let's see. Home care emergency assistance grant. I think that's also in your bailiwick, Monique.
Yes, yes. So the emergency assistance grant is basically where we can assist you with if you have a past due bill. So if you have like a past due bill, such as a utility bill, water, electric, or if you have past due rent, sometimes we can assist with that, or even a past due phone bill. So basically the utilities or rent, or even if you're getting ready to move and you need help with your first month's rent, sometimes we can help with a part of that as well. It is an application process, and the application again is available on our website, msfocus.org. And basically, once you fill out the application, we will reach out to you. And especially since it's an emergency, we try to get back to everyone as soon as possible, because we know that some people may be in a disconnection status and they don't really have that much time to work with. So we try our best once you submit the application, especially if it's a disconnection that's up for within like a couple days. As soon as we get the application, we'll respond back and let you know what documents you need to send in, because there are some documents that, and it is listed on our website, what you need to send in with the application. But we try to get to you as soon as possible and let you know, okay, this is what you need to send back in. Because what will happen is that once we get all the documents, there is a committee that will meet on your application and your documents to see, if we'll be able to help. So that's why we try to move it along as quickly as possible, so you can have the time to get everything in so you don't end up getting disconnected. If it's something that we just don't have enough funding for, a lot of times we can partner with other organizations, such as the MS Society, where we can maybe work together if you have a large amount that we're not able to assist with.
I have a question in the chat, if we will be answering Q&A or questions and answers at the end of the webinar. If there's something pertinent to what we're speaking about right now, we'll try to be watching it in real time and answering so that we keep the flow going. Okay, Ingrid from Facebook is asking, how do you get subscribed to MS Focus magazine? info@msfocus.org. Oh, Kashana wants to say something.
Well, you can call us. You can email us, support@msfocus.org. You can send us an email. We can add you to our mailing list, or you can give us a call at our 1-888 673-6287. We answer the phone right away and we can add you as well. So those are two different ways to get subscribed to the magazine. Really quick, I did see a Q&A that asked about restrictions, income restrictions. It's not solely based on income, but we do ask about income. So I just wanted to answer that. I did see that you put no, but we do ask about income on the application, on all of our applications, but it is not solely based on income. It's a case-by-case basis. So you just, once we get the application and we start moving forward with the process, we will let you know if you are approved or denied.
Well, that goes for emergency assistance and home care also. We do take a look at income as well, which, like Kashana said, it's not solely based on that because we look at all your monthly expenses and your situation and everything like that, but we do look at that also.
We have
And
a
I just
couple of
want to add that,
questions.
oh, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Sherry.
That's okay.
I just wanted to add that the emergency assistance also encompasses disaster assistance. So although throughout the year, we fund rents, heating oil, electric, you know, now that Florida and Puerto Rico have both been hit very hard by hurricanes, we provide assistance in those communities as well. So we have sent generators to Puerto Rico. We're working on a case right now to send cards so that somebody can purchase fuel for their generator in Puerto Rico. It's very expensive. It's costing them about $200 a week to make sure that they have some sort of electric in their home, whether for the refrigerator or lights. So we are helping those in Florida and Puerto Rico right now as well.
Denise from Facebook wants to know, how do I go about getting help with getting an air conditioner? Again, with any of our programs or services, support at msfocus.org. Just sending that email to them, telling them what you need, or going to our Facebook or our regular web page, msfocus.org, and looking at programs and grants. The applications will all be there. I do have a question in the Q&A. I'm trying a holistic approach. This is Shalane. I'm trying a holistic approach, a nonprofit organization, as well as my neurologist. And they're asking if MS organizations help assist in funding grants. Any information? Would any of you like to take that question?
As far as grants, we provide the grants. We're not funding grants for other organizations. So we call our programs grants. So we're giving you a grant for home care, or we're giving you a grant for a computer, but we don't assist other organizations. We do have a quality of life program, which is where we have provided grants to universities, other nonprofits. It's been suspended for right now, just due to funding because of the pandemic. But we did fund grants to organizations through that. It may be available again in September of 2023.
Okay, we have Sandy from Facebook asking that she needs help with a ramp for her home and has no way of getting out of the house without it, even if there were a fire. I was thinking about touching base with Habitat for Humanity. Any thoughts? Habitat for Humanity in our area of the country does build ramps, and the way that they do it is they have their Habitat volunteers doing all the work. You provide the materials, and if you have a restore in your area, Habitat for Humanity has a resale store called Restore, And builders will donate extra materials left over from building jobs. So there may be materials in the restore that you could actually purchase for a fraction of their retail cost and get away with building the deck that way. Your Rotary clubs, your Lions clubs also help to fund those sorts of things locally. But if you're not successful in finding that funding, certainly reach out to us, support@msfocus.org, and we'll see what we can't do to help.
Shauna, you want to add to that one?
Absolutely. So we also can assist with portable ramps. Just like Sherry stated, you can send us an email. The assistive technology is the program that it falls under. So you can fill out the application, but we will cover some funding for ramps. And whether it's one that you have built or a portable ramp, we can assist with that.
Susan asks, the best resource for finding out what meds are covered under Good RX or Cost Plus. I understand most MS drugs are brands which are not covered. This is true. And again, your pharmacist is a wonderful resource on that. You can certainly contact your drug company. So if you're working with a specific drug company that has the medication that you're taking, they have financial resource persons within the drug company to help you find funding to get that medication at a cost that you can afford. They want you to be able to take what you need. And so they're going to do everything that they can to help you fund it. So just ask the financial resources person at the drug company in your patient support program, and they'll help you to find that information. One thing we didn't touch on, and that was our transportation assistance grant. Kashana, take it away.
Hello, so it's me again. We do have a transportation program, and so it will help with rides to and from your neurologist and to and from your infusions. What I will say is we try to keep the miles, the distance for the ride under 50 miles. In the past, we've had difficulties with clients that need to go further than 50 miles. So if you are filling out an application for the transportation program to go to and from your neurologist or to and from infusions, please keep in mind that we want to keep it under 50 miles going and coming. What I will say about the program is that it's super helpful for those that do not have a way to and from those appointments. You can call us and set the appointments up in advance so you don't have to worry about not having a ride. We are available Monday through Friday. We ask that you book your rides Monday through Friday. If you have an appointment on the weekend, if you want to call us a few days before to book that appointment, we will go ahead and schedule it for you. But we're right here to answer your calls, and the transportation program is a great program for those that do not have transportation, or you just want to give your caregiver like a day off. You know, we have those rides here available for you.
And the rides are through Uber and Lyft.
Yes.
We've contracted out with both of them, and we have a concierge service. So Kashana and others on her team can go right in and dispatch those rides. They do require that you have an application. So if you are hoping to use the transportation, you can't just call us today and we set it up. You have to fill out an application for the transportation program. We set you up in the system, and then we can provide the ride.
The other thing that I want to bring up with that ride program is that we can't always guarantee that there is wheelchair accessible transportation. Some rideshare vehicles do have a lift or a ramp, but most do not. So if you're in a power chair, but you can take somebody with you with a manual chair, that can help you in and out of the vehicle and fold up the chair and stow it. It is not the Uber or Lyft driver's responsibility to do that. If that's the only way you can get to your appointments, then you need to provide that individual, that companion, to help you with the ride, because our rideshare drivers cannot help with transfers or loading your equipment. So just wanted to throw that out there. I have Leslie asking, where can I find an MS specialist in my area? And there is, let's see, I'm going to ask Bhavya to look up the link and post it in the chat for the National Multiple Sclerosis doctor locator.
Yeah, there's a directory through the consortium of MS centers as
Right,
well. And
right.
it's mscare.org.
.org. Right.
So there
Thank you,
is a
Natalie.
directory listed there, or you can call our support line, 888-673-82. Kashana, help me.
287.
287.
287, yes.
Because I was going to say 888-673-MS Focus, and not everybody will know what that is.
No,
but that
it's
is our
888-673-6287.
Yes.
287. And so one of our support coordinators can actually look that up for you on the phone, and you know, if you don't have a computer.
Kashana, I have Dawn asking, how many Better Tomorrow grants are given out typically each year? I understand you only get awarded once, but just curious, on average, the number of applications to number of grants awarded.
Actually, that is a better question for Natalie. Vicky
Yeah.
is the coordinator of that program, but it also depends on funding that we receive that year and the requests that we receive. So as previously stated, it is up to $1,000. Not all recipients will receive 1,000, but it depends on the funding that we have available for the program. And Natalie, take it away.
Yeah, Kashana, you handled that very well. It is a once in a lifetime program. We get thousands upon thousands of applications, and all of those applications are looked at. So we also have a committee that will take a look at what people are requesting, because we ask you to fill out a small paragraph about how the item you're requesting is going to improve your quality of life. And the committee then, based on the requests we get for that year, will choose the number of people that we can fund based upon the amount of funding that we have available. And I'll let you know, we get requests for all types of items. Most of them are comfortable beds, believe it or not, foam mattresses, front-loading washers and dryers. It could be a large television screen, so that, you know, somebody that has optical problems can see the TV. So, you know, it is anything that's not covered within our other programs, but will improve your quality of life. We've gotten requests for tricycles so that people can maintain their balance, adult tricycles, and still ride bikes. We've gotten requests for hobby supplies, art supplies. So it's really pottery wheels. It's a unique program, and every application is looked at. We just can't fulfill each and every one.
I remember one of the first times I became aware of Brighter Tomorrow, there was a little blurb in the MS Focus magazine about somebody having gotten a new refrigerator because theirs was from the 1960s and it kept icing up, and they had to keep their medication at an even temperature. So it is very variable. For those of you who want the physician finder, the National MS Society's link to that is currently in the chat. So just go into the chat and copy that for your use. Shalane asks, are there limits to the number of rides for infusions? She's enrolled, but working or wondering on limits of the number of rides.
So it is,
Again,
oh, sorry, Natalie.
no, go ahead, Kishana.
It is a case-by-case basis. It depends on the mileage. It depends on like where you're going. It just depends. It depends on the mileage. It's a case-by-case basis. Shalane, if you want to give us a call, the 888 number, I can definitely look into how many rides you have used and how many you might have left. But just give me a call and we can go move forward from there.
Another
Yeah,
thing
normally we would give about 12 rides,
okay.
Normally, yes.
but
Another thing related to rides that you may not be aware of that, and I think this falls into your 50-mile bit, is that our Uber and Lyft drivers are often not allowed to cross state lines and pick up rides in different states. My daughter's been an Uber driver for more than 5 years, and she often will be asked, we live in southern New England, and she'll often be asked to drive people to Boston or to New York City for an airport. She can't pick up somebody while she's there to bring them back to offset the return trip. So these people are not getting paid adequately, and we just need to be really thinking of both your needs and their needs too, and compensating them appropriately for that. And we just want to be able to do that. So that's part of the reason why the restriction's there.
and in addition to the Uber Lyft transportation, we also fund paratransit. So go ahead, Kishana, explain that one.
So some of our clients already have paratransit set up and some don't, but in the event that you do and you know of a paratransit in your area and it could be less expensive than Uber, we can definitely use the paratransit system for you and pay for those rides for you as well. I've had someone even use like a metro rail, like a metro system that's, as you know, we're national. So it just depends. If you call us and you have a conversation with us and you let us know this is what works for me, and we can move forward from there. Just let us know.
Perfect.
I wanted to mention just about the transportation, because through the home care assistance grant, we can also help with transportation as well. It just depends on the agency and the caregiver. So sometimes the caregiver can take you to doctor's appointments, especially if you're not able to go in an Uber or Lyft by yourself. Sometimes we can have the caregiver, once we assign you the visits and the caregiver is assigned through the agency, they can also help to take you to a doctor's appointment or even run an errand to the grocery store or something like that. So transportation is available on a case-by-case basis through the home care assistance grant as well.
Okay.
What I will say is give us as much information as possible when you are setting up or when you are approved and setting up your rides. If you have a service animal, if you have a any type of device, just give us that information, because that will help us with putting in the information when we're trying to book the ride, when we're dispatching the rides. It helps us help you. So if you have a service animal, let us know. If you have assistive devices that you need help, let us know. If you're bringing a caregiver, let us know, because all of that information helps us help you.
We've even sent people in ambulances if they're bed bound and they cannot transfer to a chair. So it's, we look at your individual need and help you in the best way we can.
We have an anonymous attendee asking, besides MS Focus and the MS Society, are there any other MS-related organizations or general charities that can assist in paying for rent? This is my biggest stressor right now. Section 8 vouchers or housing is not open in any of my cities. I'm single, my kids, no family where I live. I'm not yet on SSDI. And what could I get that covers my rent?
Well, a
So,
lot,
go ahead.
I was just gonna mention that besides us and the MS Society, well, there's also the MS Association, but then I'll also refer to places like 211, because a lot of times if you call 211, they will give you all the places that can assist with rent or electric or anything that you're asking for assistance with locally. So a lot of times I do like to give out 211 because at least they can find you places that are in your area that can assist. There's also findhelp.org. A lot of times you can put in your zip code in there and it'll give you a full listing of all the places that can assist you with anything like rent or any utility bill or anything like that.
Lisa from Facebook asks, is a person eligible for assistance more than once, or is it just a once in a lifetime thing? I think we've already answered that and say that it's on a case-by-case basis. Brighter Tomorrow grant is a once in a lifetime, right?
Well, it depends on the program.
Yeah.
Brighter Tomorrow grant, emergency assistance are once in a lifetime.
Right.
You have the cooling program that's every 5 years. You have assistive technology that's once a year. And I want to say healthcare assistance is once in a lifetime, Natalie?
Yes.
Okay, and transportation is once a year.
And
Okay.
home care is like on a case by case basis and depending on funding.
Yeah.
Now, Patty is asking if we assist with modifications to a vehicle, such as adding a scooter lift.
Yes, we do. That falls under our assistive technology program. You can fill out the application or you can email us at support@msfocus.org.
And also we would pay for something like vehicle modification for hand controls through that program as well.
Okay. Support groups, we haven't even touched on the fact that we have a whole network of support groups throughout the country. In addition to, we have private Facebook pages that require membership questions to be answered, screening for that. We have one large one that is just called the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. There's about 23,000 members in that right now. And a lot of times people come to that group when they've got questions and suspect that they may have MS. There are a lot of people in the group that have had MS for decades and can kind of help walk individuals through. It really is a large online support group. We also have a support group that is just for individuals living with MS, no significant others, no spouses, no people that are not diagnosed definitively. And that's called MS Focus Confidential. So that's on Facebook. And then we have another group that's strictly for care partners, not people with MS. And that's called MS Care Partners Only. So if you would like an online support group that is a private group, the general public can't see what's posted in that group at all. They can see that those groups exist, but they have to answer membership questions that are specific to the individual in order to get into the group. I personally moderate and administer the first two groups that I mentioned, and Marcia, who is our support group person, manages the MS Care Partners Only group. One of the reasons I don't moderate that is that I'm also a person living with MS. I've had MS for well over 40 years now. And when I first met these lovely people, I was scooter dependent. So my association with the MS Foundation has just been life-changing, and now it's my turn to give back. And I'm hoping and praying that all of you are in a similar situation for that. So if you have a local support group that you would like our support with, we also have all kinds of materials we can send out to you to facilitate your support group. And support@msfocus.org, or support groups, is it support groups at msfocus.org, will get you to Marcia, and she will help you with all of the materials that you need to set up an effective, helpful support group locally, or even expand it to nationally. There are a number of groups that we've facilitated, particularly since the pandemic, to expand their groups from a small local group of 8 or 10 people to a national group that now has dozens of people or even hundreds of people in it, and the network is growing. So we have so much we can help you with where that's concerned. Do we have any more questions before we're coming towards the top of the hour? If there are any burning questions, we might have chance for a couple of them before we sign off.
Oh, well, Sherry, I did want to just add something really quick that I forgot to mention with the home care assistance grant. I did forget to mention that we also help with physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. So I know sometimes an insurance company might only pay for a certain amount and you might need more. So sometimes we can help with the copay for either one of those three. So that's something, if anyone is interested in, you can also apply for it through the home care assistance grant on our website. Also, I forgot to mention, we do have something called the Coming Home program, where if you were in the hospital and don't have anyone to take you home, we can actually get a caregiver through an agency to come pick you up from the hospital, take you home, and help you get situated, basically. Just, help you get a shower, help you make you a meal, for a couple hours when you come home from the hospital. And there's also our adult daycare program. We can help with a couple days at an adult daycare as well. So that's something that we do also. And all of those you can apply for under our home care assistance grant on our msfocus.org website.
Now, see, I've learned something new today. Thank you so much. Ben is asking if there's a way to affiliate a national multiple sclerosis support group to our website.
Yes, and we have a network of about 165 support groups throughout the country. So they are listed on our directory on our website. If you go under support and support groups, you can find them. And I would suggest that if you're interested in affiliating and being listed on our website, you do contact Marcia Harris at supportgroups@msfocus.org, and she will walk you through that process.
Or it could just be Marcia@msfocus.org. It is Marcia Harris, but it's Marcia at
Marcia, her email is Marcia@msfocus.org or supportgroups@msfocus.org.
Oh, we just had another question pop into the Q&A. Ben says, thank you. You're very welcome. Diane, do you help out the group in Columbus, Ohio? Don't know. You'd have to email support groups at msfocus.org to know if they did, and if not, and you need it listed on our site and supported by our site, just reach out to Marcia and she'll talk to you about that. It looks like we're coming to the top of the hour. If you've missed any part of this getting to know us, what we offer to you as recipients of our grants and programs, as viable members of our community, as extensions of our family. This was recorded and it will be up on our Facebook, our YouTube channel. It's also going to be Facebook Live. So look at the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation regular page on Facebook and you'll see the live recording of this. Our next session for you next week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time will be Dr. Marissa Barrera. And she's going to be talking to you about swallowing difficulties and the science of managing those. As someone who has been through a phase more than once with real swallowing difficulties, it can be pretty scary. So please tune into that if you're interested in hearing Dr. Barrera talk about the management of swallowing difficulties. And keep your eye on what's going on. We're more than happy to help you. One more question. How do you find PT, OT, etc., specializing in MS? This is from Susan. And physical therapists and occupational therapists who specialize in MS often have a certification with the letters MSCS after their name. So you could type in a search, is there an OT MSCS in your zip code area or within 50 miles of your zip code area? Also, if you reach out to the Consortium of Multiple Sclerosis Centers, mscare.org, they have a list of multiple sclerosis certified specialists that are specialists in occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. The speech therapists often handle the swallowing issues, but they also handle things like cognitive retraining. So if you find that you've got some cognitive issues, a speech therapy evaluation for cognitive retraining may be very helpful where that's concerned. I thank you all for joining us, and I'm so grateful to Natalie and Kashana and Monique for their help and orienting us to what's available. And thank you to Bhavya, who's behind the scenes helping us with our technology. We so look forward to seeing you with our next webinar. Thank you and goodbye.